All right, what is up, guys? Welcome to another, well, I can't say Thursday night live stream. It's actually Saturday. I know, what am I doing? Welcome to a Saturday live stream here on Drums and Drams. Kind of a pop-up tonight, but I didn't do a formal live stream this past Thursday, so I decided, let's do something this week. Let's have a little bit of fun. And last week when we did the marathon tasting for all the the preliminary bottles for the top 5 and all that, which we can talk top 5 tonight. There have been a lot of supportive comments, and there's also been a lot of people like, why did you make this list if you're going to put a bunch of single barrels on the list? I know, we can talk about it. It's fine. But I thought with the, positive reception of last week's Saturday stream, let's do another Saturday stream. This one's not going to be 4 hours and 20 minutes long. We're starting at 9 Eastern and hopefully done by 10:30. That would be great. Latest I want to go tonight is 11, a 2-hour stream. Still giving my body a break. And look, this week I've been putting out a video every week, or every day this week. Starting on Monday with the weekly dram. Actually, starting last Saturday live, Sunday Aaron Scotch review, Monday weekly dram, Tuesday through Saturday top 5. I did a quick live on the Larceny blind flight on Thursday. It's been a hell of a week for making content, and this is not going to be the norm, but I wanted to see what the limit would be. Like, push it to the limit, see how much I can get out, and it's been a very successful week as far as that goes, as far as getting stuff out into the world, which is something that I've struggled with, over the years as a channel. So anyways, thanks for being here. We're going to have fun. We're going to taste a new bottle that everyone's kind of been wondering about, but a lot of people didn't want to pull the trigger on, understandably. The Old Stubborn blend of 10, 11, and 13-year-old pot still straight wheated bourbon. 123.8 proof. Great presentation. Just literally got off the truck here 30 minutes ago. It's still cold. I've got to pour out, heating up. Cork breaks immediately, of course. Not fully breaks, but I'll show you in a second. So we'll taste that. I got a 4-pour blind flight that Sarah poured me to kind of get ready for the Matt Madness Champions match next Friday. And then along the way, I'm sure we'll talk top 5, just random topics as well. What's up, YinzTube? Yeah, Cam drinks through his whole collection and ranks it. God, I hope not. I can't handle that again. Tim, I'll get back to you, man. Sorry, I'm like a few days behind on email. I'll get back to you. Michter's batch sample out. Just need your address. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. All right, so let me just say hey to whoever's in here. Lone Ranger, drop that StreamYard link. Who's Lone Ranger? Who's Lone Ranger? I don't recognize the picture. Oh, Corn and Whiskey. What is up? Rizzle D. I see Paul's in here. Joe jumping over from the other live. Guys, you'll notice something on the table here. We're not tasting this tonight. This review is going to be out next week. But I just tasted this for my patrons a second ago. Very quick taste. Sorry it was so fast, guys. Raw Corporation. Hey, Cheech, how you doing, man? Todd and Toshi. Good to see all you guys. Keith, Tim, Numinium, Bourbon Retriever. Awesome, Jimmy. Yeah, Tim, guys, I didn't tell you. Tonight we're just reading laser codes all night. I'm just going to go through the room and read all the laser codes. That's the stream. What's up, Daniel? Cheers, man. Hey, I'll say cheers to you guys with a little 1924 Old Forester. All right, let me know what you're sipping on. Yeah, Amy, no, you're not confused. I'm confused. I guess I'm confused about a lot of things. Especially what my favorite 5 whiskeys were this year. I think I'm very confused. Hilarious. Tim Evans, I just saw your comment, man. So you've got one of those Junkies bourbon picks as well, huh? See, it's a ballsy pour, but for me, like, I put it up against a William LaRue 2016, and it annihilated it. I mean, but it was like, it's such a different thing. But it's a bottle that I couldn't stop drinking. Like, I would drink it until I, had to stop drinking, and that's not a good place to be. Heading to Bodega in the short north. Oh, nice. Nice, a little hometown love there. Hometown place, Bodega. I remember going there in college. Haven't been there in a long time. Santiago OTC 13 says, cheers all. First time making a live. Been really enjoying the content. Thank you. Thanks for checking it out. Definitely more coming. Not quite as frequently. We're not doing 2-a-days. Very often. We'll do some 2-a-days, but not very often. Hey, Tim, I just saw you join Patreon, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you. For the rest of you guys, Patreon has been blowing up recently. We got a lot more people in there. The chat is great. Like, I feel like we're starting to build the community that I've always wanted to, and that a lot of that just hinges on me getting off my ass and really, really committing to this, and it's awesome. Paul Graham, $50 super sticker. Paul, thank you. Holy smokes, man. I don't know if I can see the sticker. Let me see if I can catch it on my phone. Daniel, 1994, Evan Williams, 1783 in the glass. Psh, that sounds fancy. All right, let me pull up the chat on my phone and see if I can see that sticker that Paul sent. Oh, there we go. A little dude on a rocket. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that, man. $50. That's so generous, and it's good to see your name again. Okay, so let's just get this started. We're gonna move quickly into this Old Stubborn. So my warm-up pour is basically going to be 1924, not Eagle Rare as usual. So if my blind flight skills suck, I'm just going to blame it on that. I mean, patrons, for what I said about 1924, I mean, I like it. It's good. That was an enjoyable sip. Okay, first up, let's get into this. Old Stubborn. Let me know in the chat if you guys, did or did not see things about this. I think Sealbox was posting about it. Shared Pour was posting about it. Revival Vintage Spirits, I believe, is the shop in Covington, Kentucky, was posting about it. They did an in-person release of this. Now, the guy behind this is Ed Bly. I believe that's how you say his last name. B-L-E-Y. And Ed Bly, I cannot remember the shop he owns or worked at or managed, one of those things. But he was known for his barrel picks. Big industry guy. Everybody knows him. I'm not in the industry. I'm not from where his store was from, so I don't know him, right? And I'm sure many of you don't as well. But Ed's name is apparently a pretty big name, and he started this company called Rising Tide Spirits. And his first release is this thing called Old Stubborn. I love the bottle. It's very cool. Keith, still on for next Friday. Yes, the Matt Madness Champions thing is next Friday. Okay, so beautiful presentation. This is the cork. Let's see if I can do a little magic here. So here's the cork. But this is that kind of cork that I do not like. It's sort of like the Michter's cork, I guess. I don't know, it seems to be more dense in the way that it looks, but it's not actually dense in the way that it holds up. And when I pulled this out of the box, and I just unboxed them, I have 2 more of these things in case they're good enough for a giveaway. So we'll see. But we won't do that giveaway tonight. That would probably be next Thursday if I give one of these away, if it makes the cut. Pulling this out and trying to put the cork back in when it was pretty wet from being shipped. The cork was still wet and cold. This big piece of cork chipped off. So be careful if you have one of these yourself. A big piece chipped off, and while that doesn't seem like a big deal, if I put the cork back in and pull it out again, the entire top of this cork is going to come off, and it started already shredding into the bottle. So I had to change it out for just this synthetic. So be mindful of that, you guys. It's a pretty sharp rim here also on the bottle, so I think that's not making life easy on that cork. Tim, good choice, man. Peerless High Rye tonight. Serious standout bottle there. Cork and bottle. Here we go. Todd, cork and bottle is the shop. I always get, there's cork and keg and bottle. So cork and bottle. Old Baldy at 126 proof with his first big blend by Jay Mattingly. Thank you, Todd, for that info. And he seems like a super nice guy. I've seen pictures of him, maybe some short videos from Revival when they did that release. Okay, so what do we have in the bottle? This very special first release consists of 10, 11, and 13-year pot still wheated bourbon. So a lot of times when I get pot still stuff, obviously when you think pot still, your mind probably goes to Scotch, probably goes to Irish, but obviously some American whiskeys use it too, particularly craft distilleries. So when I go pot still in my brain, I usually think farmy, crafty flavor profile, but kind of big, rich mouthfeel. It's presented at cask strength and non-chill filtered. Barrels meticulously chosen and hand-married by Ed Bly, then lovingly hand-bottled in Kentucky. We sincerely hope you enjoyed as much as we did creating it for you. Yeah. Okay, so distilled in West Virginia. So this is Smooth Ambler. And I think they got rid of this pot still. I remember some of the marketing talk that I was reading was that this still was gone, and so this whiskey would never be made again or something. So, okay, that's cool. I've never had any Smooth Ambler stuff, so I don't know at all what I'm going into, what I'm going into this expecting. Maybe it's storming outside or something. All right. Stagg 18 tonight, says Jens Tube. So we're going to check this out now. 123.8 proof. Wow. It's nutty. It's like, wow. This is not what I expected this to smell like at all. But it's like, what does this remind me of? This reminds me of Old Fitz. Like, you know what? I have a sample of 14. Thank you, Toshi, for this sample. All right. We'll put this next to Old Fitz, even though the proof is going to be wildly different. Old Fitz at 100. This is at 123.8. But I'm curious about the flavor profile comparison because it's like big, rich peanut butter cinnamon notes, but not like it doesn't feel young. Oftentimes when I think things that have a lot of nuttiness to them, that comes off young. This one does not. What's up, Alex? Hey, Dad. Wow. I mean, it really does just smell like peanut butter, like the inside. It's like a Reese's cup. It smells like the inside of a Reese's cup. Sweet, rich peanut butter and just chocolate with a lot of cinnamon. A little sharp on the front end, on the nose. And I remember also in some of the marketing, copy that was on the websites for this is they suggested pouring it out and letting it sit for 20 to 30 minutes. This did. So maybe some of that ethanol rolled off. I could see this being a little hot on first pour. And I'm not a big fan of whiskeys that do that. But now as it stands, very good. And if you're worried about this being crafty, I don't really detect much of that hay, farm, soil kind of note. I'm not really getting any of that. This is a pleasant surprise because I was going into this scared. These are $250 a piece, and I snagged a few because I'm like, well, if it's amazing, I have to give one away. If it's not, then I'm stuck with this stuff, and it could just taste like like heavily craft whiskey. Wow. Ooh, sharp on the front. Wow. I am so shocked by this stuff. It's not perfect. Like, don't get me wrong. Wow. That is a hell of a palate development on this. If you like, I'll do this Old Fitz comparison, but I'm going to say it first now, and I might correct myself. If you like Old Fitz, this is so going to be your jam on the palate. I cannot believe that. I have goosebumps. Front of the palate, I don't like. I don't like the initial impact. It's a little too hot for me, a little too intense. And I think that's what they mean also when they say let it sit out for 20 to 30. I think they realized after the blend married that this is probably just a little punchy on the front of the nose and the front of the palate. That's my knock. the palate development, it's just these huge waves of peanut butter oak. So you have to like nutty. It's not sharp, brittle peanut shell nut, but it's like creamy peanut butter, you know? So anyways, I'm going to look at this. We'll go back to this in a second. But I'm going to do this Old Fitz 14 now and see how this compares. Christine says, if it's not, still give some away. Well, I say it anytime I do a giveaway. If I don't want to drink the whiskey, I'm not making somebody else drink the whiskey. Okay, interesting. It's tough because of the proof difference, right? So, not an exact comparison. This is 14-year Old Fitz. This is 10, 11, and 13 in the blend, right? Yeah, 10, 11, 13. The Old Fitz feels more buttery. Yeah, more of that sweet wheat type thing that you come to expect. Almost a little banana bread. I know it's Heaven Hill, but I'm getting banana bread. Oh, it smells like an Auntie Anne's pretzel. It smells like a food court at a mall. That is so weird. Like the pretzel, yeah, it is Auntie Anne's. Old Fitz 14 smells like Auntie Anne's pretzels. So kind of, and that makes sense with the wheat in there, just this kind of breadiness. This is much more just intense peanut butter cinnamon. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked at this whiskey. Yeah, front, a little sharp, a little tannic actually on the front. Like it's got this sour tannin thing. Cinnamon, and then the development is great. So I like this whiskey. $250. That's tough, you know? I would love at $250. I don't think it's there. I think I love the presentation. I really like the flavor profile, and I'm not even a big nutty person. But this is doing it. At $250, I think what I would like to see on this would just be to round out the front of the palate in some way, and the nose. And I think that would be taken care of the same way. Like, let's say you needed to blend in one extra older barrel, or put in one less barrel of the younger 10-year. Like, whatever the fix is, I think that fix would take care of both the sharpness on the palate and the overbalanced ethanol in the nose, just in the very front. The other possibility is that adding water to this may help it. So what I'm going to do, I've got a couple extra glasses. I'll pour a little bit in, and then I'm going to throw some water so I still have some of the base whiskey poured out and heated up, because the bottle itself is still too cold. Daniel P. says they stole that bottle from Blackland Distillery in Fort Worth. Interesting. Well, it makes sense, because I was thinking about all the costs of bringing this thing to market. As a new company, they went tube, they went fancy bottle, new branding, all the stuff that you got to pay for, all the overhead. And I thought, like, maybe some of that overhead is bleeding into the $250 bottle cost. But knowing that they didn't design their own glass for it, that makes sense. Clay, apparently this is, it's distilled West Virginia. Apparently this is Smooth Ambler on a pot still that they used to have, I think is what I heard. Again, that could be wrong. But I think they've gotten rid of that still since then. But this was distilled on their pot still, it sounds like. All right, so a little water, and it helps. It kills the huge rush on the palate. Look, it's solid. And I think people that crack this open, look, if you spent $250 on a bottle, that means you're a person that, if you took a risk on a bottle like this that you know nothing about, that means that $250 for you is probably not like an absurd amount of money for you to spend on a bottle. I have to imagine. I think anyone else that's maybe more budget conscious, and this is just a generalization, would probably reserve that $250 for a bottle they know they're going to love. Like, if they know they love Pappy and they find one at $250 from a lottery or something at a store, they do that. But if you spent $250 on this, and that's not an absurd amount of money for you, I don't think you're going to be mad when you crack this thing open and drink it. I think you're going to be very pleased by this. Yeah, the water helped the front end, but it kind of took away a lot of the fireworks that I liked about it, But I understand people saying, look, $250, new brand, whiskey that we don't know. It needs to be the best thing ever, or else I'm going to be pissed, or, you're just trying to overprice things. It's a valid criticism. Both sides of this would be valid because the whiskey is very, very good, but it's not, it's not a top 10 maybe. I don't know. This might actually do really well in a blind because the palate is so great. Has anyone else in the chat tried this, actually? I'm curious. I know Todd was talking about he's got one. He says, you're making me want to crack it open. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to do it. Maybe wait on another review. I don't know if anybody else picked these up. I'm not sure. And these are still sitting on the website. I think if you're looking for something with a great palate and $250 is not crazy for you, understand there's a little sharpness on the front. I'm telling you, the development's really nice, and it's so viscous. That's got to be the pot still on the palate. Man, I like it. All right, I'm checking the chat here. Yeah, Clay's right. $250 is not unheard of nowadays, but for an unknown, I get it. But if this is the first thing that, well, not the first. It sounds like, what was it, Old Baldy, I think is what it was called. But for one of the first projects that Ed Bly is putting out, this is super, super promising, I think. So keep an eye on what else, he might do. Who knows if it's all going to be this expensive. What would be really interesting is if they held back some single barrels of this to release later. I think that would be interesting because I could imagine some of those single barrels being awesome. Michael Bortner says, hell, I just sampled out half a bottle of Old Rip 10 and didn't think twice about it, but not sure I'd spend $250 on a whim. Yeah. And it also depends, I guess, on what you spent on the Old Rip. That's another one of those bottles that I'd love to have, but secondary is just, I think it's $750 or $800 now. That's outlandish for that stuff. It's really good. Same with Pappy 15, which has dropped a lot on secondary, but $1,500 is still, when you drop to $1,500, it's just absurd all the way around. Rizzle D says, max dollars for Rock Hill, not a lot. The most I'd want to pay is $100, And I don't know if you're ever going to find it. Find it for that. It's probably either going to be at SRP from a lottery or, some store you have a relationship maybe, or you're going to probably pay full secondary, which I want to say is around $275 or something. Daniel P, I traded my Old Rip plus 100 for a Heaven Hill. Yeah, you won. Wow. Michael says, got two at an average of 220. Oh, my God. Yeah. I would do that all day for sure. And then Joe says, if I'm spending $1,500, it has King or LaRue in the name. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, Joe. So, all right. For me, I like this whiskey. It does have imperfections for sure. Every whiskey does. This one is in a way that usually bothers me more, but I'm okay with it in this case because of how great the palate is and how great the finish is. It's just the front of the palate and the very first nosing feels a little sharp. It's crazy to me that it doesn't taste craftier than, Like, maybe there's 5% of a crafty note on here or something. If there is, to me, it's so... I mean, I just don't notice it. It's like I'm getting all the mouthfeel of a craft whiskey, but I'm not getting that nasty farmy note. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna be done with that, I think. She says, "Where'd you hide the 1924?" It's over here. We're not doing this tonight, though. I have to leave something to the imagination, you know? Next week, I'll just tell you real quick. So tomorrow, I still need to edit the dang video. Macallan 12 Sherry Oak. So tomorrow's going to be a Macallan 12 Sherry review for Scotch Sunday. Monday, we'll do another weekly dram episode, week 2. And I have a list of things on my phone I've been writing down through the week of stuff to talk about on the weekly dram this week. The tasting on the weekly dram is going to be a review of Larceny A124. So that should be a cool thing to throw in there. And I'll probably put this next to C923 since that won my blind flight on Thursday night. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. It was a 30-minute kind of quick blind flight live stream thing that we did. So that's weekly dram. And then on that, I'll tell you what videos are going to be coming out this next week. One of those will be 1924. I'm shooting for Tuesday or Wednesday to drop this review. Chris R. grabbed an E.H. Taylor barrel proof and Blanton straight. Oh my god. For $165? Yeah, I feel like that's the cost of straight from the barrel by itself. That's amazing. Wow. Yin's Tube says a bunch of 90s Blantons hit my local secondary. I do see some of those drinkers pop up. National secondary. Maybe a little more expensive than that, though. But yeah, I've always wanted to try one. I always look out for my birthday, Sarah's birthday, you know. Todd says $250 not bad. Being I paid $220 for a 4-gate 10-year foundation and 8-year Kelvin 60. Yeah, look, to me this beats the crap out of Kelvin 60, but I'm just not a big toasted or double-barreled person like with that profile. So Todd, you know, if you do crack it, let me know. I'd love to know what you think of it, but that is not me peer pressuring you, I promise. Oh, Chris says, sorry, $265, my bad. Even still at $265, still that's a great deal. Andrew Surfling, thinking of a recent $250 bottle I picked up in Remus Gatsby comes to mind. I know you had mixed feelings. If you didn't own either but had tasted them, which one are you buying? Probably this one. I mean, Remus Gatsby, probably this one just because the palate is so great. But I love the Gatsby profile more, like the dark fruit thing. I talked about that fall leaf, fresh fall leaves note, fresh fallen fall leaves. Say that 5 times fast. I love those about the Remus Gatsby, but it is thin. So I would probably go here, just thinking about the drinking experience. But if I'm going to go nosing, Gatsby. But you don't just nose whiskey. Lynn says Kelvin 60 was great, Cam. Yeah, it's just not my style, not my profile on that. All right. In some ways, this Old Stubborn, now that I see this on my table, it kind of reminds me of this rare character. Let's see. All right, we got 107 in here. That is awesome. Please hit that like button if you're hanging out this evening. It's not going to be a crazy long stream. Don't worry. We've got a blind flight to do. And we'll just kind of, chat along the way, and we'll get out of here. All right. Next Thursday night, we will have a live stream at the regular time. We'll get back to Thursday Night Lives at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I feel like I had something else to say, and I don't have any idea what it was. So anyways, here's some of that 15.5-year rare character. Wow. And then here is the Old Stubborn. Very closely related. Okay, this is weird. Huh. It makes the Old Stubborn have, like I said, 5%. I'm going to go up to 10% now. Woo. 10% of a crafty note on the Old Stubborn. It is there a little bit in this comparison next to this Kentucky malt whiskey. Look, it's actually interesting, but this wheated pot still bourbon from West Virginia is super close to 65% malt whiskey from Kentucky from Heaven Hill. So, weird, but very closely related. Okay. The more you know. You know, I'm leaning towards giving one of those away on next Thursday's stream, but I still need to think on it. But I think that would be... I think anybody that gets this bottle for a Super Chat entry would be very happy to crack it open and taste it. Like, I'm trying to think of the kind of whiskey drinker that might not like it, but I think it checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. So I still need to think about that. All right, let's get on to a blind. Guy, have you done a comparison of 923, 922? I know you said... Why don't we just do it? Why don't we do it right now? Let's make it happen. I can't remember if I have, actually. I get away with saying I like C922 the best a lot now, but after that Larceny blind flight last week, well, 3 days ago, I'm shocked at how that went. So, Javier says, what's up, man? Store dropped a rare character Kentucky malt at 13 years, but bundled it with a rare character Amberana rye. Ugh. No, thank you. Sierra Basson says, have you ever tried a Linnell Willet pick? No. I mean, that's the stuff of legend, but no. I'm very inexperienced on a lot of Willet stuff. Joe, I hate you so much. But I'll put this on the screen, though, while I grab this bottle. Running pretty low on glasses tonight because of filming today and tasting things with Sarah a little bit earlier. Alex, unfortunately, man, I didn't get to try the Four Roses LE this year, so that was one that eluded me. So back to what Guy was saying. Guy, thank you for the $20 super chat, man. And by the way, for Guy and Toshi, I'm sorry that I haven't sent your samples out from the live streams that you guys won those on, but I did, in a box behind me, are 2 more bottles of Jacob's Well Batch 1. So Daniel P. tagged me on a post of these Jacob's Wells after they won the Hardins Creek Blind Flight, and so I picked up 2 more of them, and a Glendronach 18 with a 2017 laser code. But actually, that's my favorite Glendronach 18 laser code. I had a 2019, which is actually even older stuff. I didn't like it as much as my 17. This had the same bottling date as my 2017 that I love so much. So anyways, I'm going to send you guys with your samples now that I have this, the batch 1 as well, so I can send you the complete line. Derek, sorry, I missed a few of these chats. Sorry, guys. I must have got behind or something. I have a sample of the Old Stubborn on the way I'm very excited for. I've also been reliably informed that it isn't Smooth Ambler. Huh. I need to hear more about that, Derek. Because I looked up something about... Interesting. Okay. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of this. I just know what I heard, so I would love to hear more about that. Clay, thoughts on Redemption 10 cast strength dry? Good. I like it. A little soapy. I remember getting soapiness on that and some blinds. But when I don't drink it blind, I love it. It's just a solid value buy, I guess. It's good stuff. Michael S., that's one problem about being older. Getting a whiskey from my birthday, it'd have to be Scotch, and I might have to take out a sec. Oh, over 50. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. If you're going to go by years on that. Yeah, once you get to Scotch of that level, you're probably paying $1,000 a year. Sell your car and sell all of your cars. Daniel, haha, my bad. Uh-huh. Okay. So I'm going to put C922 on your left. I won't do this blind for right now, but I'm going into this with, you would think that I would have a preconceived notion because I know I like C922, but this 923 shocked me so much in that blind that I'm more than a little open-minded about this right now. One thing that has been kind of, I don't want to say bothering me, but it's been a little redundant, is just everybody in the comment section of every video saying that I need to do everything blind or it doesn't count. Whether it was the laser codes, which understandable on that, but anything. It's like, hey, you should do this blind. You need to do this blind. Did you do this blind? It's like, at some point, blind makes sense in some circumstances and it doesn't make as much sense in others. And we already talked about this, I think last week or on Thursday's stream. I don't know, but eventually it's like, stop telling me to do everything blind. Like, I like to do some things blind, and I'm going to do more. That was the point of kind of jumping on doing that Thursday night Larceny thing. It's like, screw it. I'll just jump on and do a third. It's actually easier for me to do a blind live like that, and it holds more. Here we go. You guys know I love this phrase as of the last week. It holds more water to do it blind because there's no shenanigans going on. You watch me mix it up. You watch me do it. So, whatever. 1 second. Sarah texts me. Got to make sure she's okay. She's out of the house. Okay, we're good. So we're going to get into the C922 to 923 comparison. And I love this. If you guys ever have these comparisons you want me to do, call it out in the chat. Thank you, Guy, for the suggestion. Chris, I had the opportunity to try ECBP Batch 6 in Ireland at $9 a pour. Don't think I've had Batch 6. Remind me of the proof of that. I've had a few of them. They're all so good. There's not a bad batch from back then, in my opinion, that I've tried. I think I maybe had 4 of them. C923 does not compare to pirate bottles. It's not even close. So if anybody says that, they're either full of crap or they've just never tasted a pirate bottle. Yeah, YinzTube says, if you don't have a horse in the race, the blind isn't productive. I believe that too. Michael. The 140.2. I have not tasted that one, but I've heard that it's awesome. All right, Larceny C922. So this is weird because this has the cream cheese. It's actually like carrot cake and... Yeah, it reminds me of carrot cake and cream cheese on the nose. This is what A123 had on it in the flight from Thursday that I was kind of surprised by. So this is dark. This doesn't have... Like, the thing that I don't like about a lot of Larceny barrel proofs is that they're so sharp. They're so spicy on the front of the nose, and they smell young and brittle. And C922 does not. There's actually a little bit of like a red berry note. Carrot cake, cream cheese. It is still punching, but it's not crazy. All right, so C923 now. Yeah, this one's, like I said in that blind, this is a little more of the burnt fruit, darker, spicier, but not younger. And it does have that butteriness on the palate that I got on the initial review I did of this, but I did not pick it up in the blind. And I think there's something about doing 3 Larceny barrel proof batches back to back in a blind like that, which then you start to lose a lot of the nuance in a lot of the whiskeys because they kind of run together. And so the only thing, and this is speculation, this is just me spitballing, the only thing that stands out in a blind then are these like really big, these big things, but a lot of the nuance goes away because your palate's dealing with the same thing over and over, so closely related. Red hot candies in there. I like it. I like C923. Yeah, that butteriness is now becoming brown butter on the palate. It's becoming richer, sweeter. All right, now C922. That's a little more of a bruiser on the palate. This is a really tough comparison here. They're both so good in their own way. Oh, what's up, Bruzel? Those Larceny batches are definitely hit or miss for me, but when they, yeah. Both of these are great. The C922, C923, I think are great. All right, give me just a sec. A little water on the palate. Carlito Classico says, Cam, you should do an Irish blind for St. Paddy's. I don't know if I even have enough bottles to do that. I don't have a lot of Irish whiskey in the house. I still have a lot of samples. Actually, Daniel P. got some Redbreast samples from him behind me. I made a shelf of Irish whiskey on this little shoe rack sample thing that I've got. Yeah, I think I've got some Redbreast 27, 21, PX. That's from the Vascos. Red Spot. I actually do have quite a bit in terms of samples, so I guess I could do a sample flight. All right. Back to Larceny Barrel Proof. Just a little detour in tonight's stream before a blind flight. Okay, I like the nose of C922 better. It's more balanced across the board. C923 has more of a gasoline note to it, which is a note that I picked up, I'll say it again, on the Bardstown Black Label Origin Bottled and Bond Weeder. It's got this kind of gasoline note to it. And it's got those darker burnt fruit notes and it's spicier, but the balance in C922 on the nose is better. So I'm going to call that the nose winner. Let's taste them both again. All right, we'll do 2 sips of each, 2 teeny sips. Man, C922 is good. It's just like maple. It's just maple syrup and waffles. Yeah, and then this is so much more aggressive on the nose, interestingly, for the C923. But the C923 palate is sweeter. Oh, this is tough. Chris, I agree with you, man. Origin White, greater than Bottled and Bond. Is there anybody in the chat that's done this comparison? The 922, 923? Oh, Bruzel talking about some... We're going to get into the laser coach shenanigans. Don't get me into the laser coach shenanigans again. I got in enough trouble for that. All right. I have to call this a tie, and I have to do this blind. I actually think I have to do this blind. I don't know if I do like a triangle blind to figure this out, but I like the palate of C923 a lot because it's so sweet and buttery, and I like the nose of C922 because the nose is more balanced. I guess I didn't factor in finish. Yeah, but guys, I'll tell you what. When I put that Elijah Craig video out, I am telling you, I promise, I did not expect it to do what it did. Whether we mean views and subs or whatever, or like the fact that, I mean, I'm not saying I did this single-handedly. I'm not going to be that egotistical about it, but the secondary market is hilarious now. Those posts on Facebook are comical about laser codes and people getting shitty about it. It is very funny to watch, and I cannot believe that video at least even had some effect to get us to this point. I think it's, and going back now out of the heat of the moment when people were just piling on, it is hilarious to go back and read the comments and see how pissed off people got. Okay, as it stands, I have to go C922 unblind if I have to pick a winner. But if I don't have to pick a winner, I call it a tie, and I need to do it blind. I like them both. Rarely do I even like Larceny barrel proofs, and these are good. Yeah, Alex, I saw those posts. Joe says well, Joe, I don't even get upset about this insinuation that I'm trying to manipulate secondary. I'm not even upset about that because that's such a crazy thing to say about a channel that had at the time less than 5,000 subscribers that would influence the secondary market. You say that to me and I just laugh at you at my own detriment, you know? So the fact that it did have an effect is hilarious. But look, could it all be a bunch of BS? 100% it could. And I could be being swayed, biased. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes, it could be totally biased on my part. It could be biased on everybody else's part out there that's saying they're getting the same differences. But eventually, I feel like anecdotal evidence does add up to something like this. And watching, Darrell got the same result. Jeffrey Wack got the same result. Jason got the same result. A lot of guys got the same result. And a lot of them did it blind. So I'm tired of people saying that it's like, how big is the difference? I don't know. It could be nominal. It could be significant. I felt like as I went through the process, the difference became more and more clear the more I tasted them and dialed myself in. Yes, on the surface, it wasn't a crazy difference up front. I was like, well, they seem pretty similar. Then I went through the rest of that video, and it was like, okay, it became more obvious to me. But I don't... even if the difference is 5%, what's the big deal of asking about the laser code now? Because if there is a difference that we've all kind of collectively confirmed, let's say it is a real thing, well, don't you want the best whiskey? Don't you want to search out the best whiskey? Isn't that what we're doing here on WhiskeyTube? Not all of us. Some of us are making content for different reasons. I'm like, you guys know me. I'm just a freaking nerdy musician that got into whiskey and does it online now. I want to find the best whiskey. And if it comes at the same price and I just got to check the damn laser code, then I'm checking the laser code and I'm going to ask you about it. I'm not going to call a store and do it. I'm not going to throw a big hissy fit. But if given the opportunity, I would take one that starts with A23 over A22, even though those two digits, numerical digits, don't even tell the whole story. People haven't latched on to the fact that it's all three of those digits. Who cares? You can't change everybody. The whole thing's hilarious to me now, looking back. But Stir the damn pot, Bruzel. Come on, you're the one to do it. You're the biggest channel to do it. Stir the pot, man. But yeah, I don't understand the theory of like, it's all, you know, you see people in secondary saying this, you see people across the board in Facebook bourbon groups, you see a lot of folks saying it's all the same, or they say, who cares if one's better, it's all good. I care. That's what I'm doing this for. Find good whiskey, talk about it online. We're all nerds. At least the people that watch my channel. You guys are all nerds. Like me. Whatever. Len, I will... My first tattoo is a laser coat on my ass. Let's do it. Come on, we'll live stream it. Christine, no. 5K and a Matt Madness champ. These are things that don't really matter that much in the real world. But things that make me feel better and help me sleep at night. Not the 5K. That makes me upset and sad. Okay. Amy, you guys are funny. Chris says Cam was calculated with that vid. Hardly calculated. But I am now riding the wave. And I'll take it. Okay. We got to keep going. We got to get into this blind flight, guys. Copy that. These are the same people who say, why buy anything other than rare breed? Well, rare breed has fallen off. And you know how we can tell? By looking at the laser code. Oh, shit. Okay, let's check the secondary camera for the note cards. Let's get this thing. I mean, it's a little... Why is it out of... It's focusing on me. It needs to focus on the mic. Hang on. There we go. Okay. You know, one thing I would love to do here on the channel is upgrade both of my cameras from A7S2s to A7S3s. But I would need many thousands of dollars to do it. I need to do a fundraiser drive or something. Jeez. The autofocus on the A7S2s are terrible. You can do wide, you can do center, you can do flexible spot focus. It sucks. All right, time for a blind flight. Yeah, a lot of guys don't have the actual laser code. They just have that secondary laser code, whatever that one means. And I don't know what it means. So a lot of folks, if you look on the bottle, let's see if I can even, I mean, this is probably not going to be much better. No, it's not. There's a laser code on the very edge of the bottle right here. And it starts with 17. Let's see. 1723176091011. And that's not the laser code that we're all talking about. So the laser code we're all talking about appears here on the back at the bottom. And so a lot of folks are like, well, I don't have a laser code. And that's just a thing that's happening. It's just a defect on the bottling line. It's not, you know, it's nothing weird. It would be one of the laser codes that we have. It's just not there. Bruzel says, you think that sucks? Try using the Panasonics I'm rocking. Worst on the market. Well, dude, at this point, you got the money, you got the funds. I have to imagine you got the funds to go get some A7S3s. At this point, that's called masochism. TJ, that's called masochism. Go buy, hell, man, go buy some red cameras. You're getting the $500,000 subscriber dollar bills, you know. I'm just playing. Okay, blind flight tonight. A, B, C, D. It's what, January? What day is it? Jan 5 or 6 or 7. Guys, I saw Tim Dillon live last night. I don't know if any comedy fans in here. I saw Tim Dillon live, but not in the theater. He did the Funny Bone here in Columbus. So a couple hundred seats. Top 3 comedy shows I've ever seen. Shane Gillis, Dave Attell, and Tim Dillon, top 3. Joey Diaz was fun. The comedy wasn't as good. It was just crazy to be in the room with Joey Diaz, and his storytelling is amazing. But Tim Dillon murdered last night. It was, and Sarah and I were sitting, we were 1 row back. So I was probably like 10 feet from him. Pretty wild to, I don't know. It's cool. Sarah Flight, ABCD. Okay. So we're just guessing stats on these in preparation for the Matt Madness matchup that's going to happen on next Friday night. Mark Vasco, thank you for the Patreon pledge, man. Okay. See how we're doing here? Cool. Toshi says, nice. I saw Jordan Klemperer last night. I don't know who that is, Toshi. Or Klepper. Still don't know who that is. Oh, Joe saw Doug Stanhope. That's awesome. In a small audience. Yeah, fun. Yeah, Bruzel says, if you have enough, you don't need to autofocus. Yeah. Cam with that whiskey. Yeah, I've got that ECBP laser code money, guys. Real big bucks. All right, glass 1. Here we go, glass 1. We'll do the same thing we do every week. Here we go. Put this here. All right, turn the head. Remember, no spoilers in chat. What you're seeing right now is what's in glass 1. If I click my mouse, it should go full screen. So you should be full screen now. This is what's in glass number 1. 3, 2, 1. And remember, in chat, as we go through this, not only no spoilers, but don't talk about this brand. Don't talk about the opposite of this brand. Just leave it alone. If you spoil it, I'm kicking you out of the chat in whatever way I can do that, or silence you or whatever, because I don't want any spoilers, and I still want to be able to look at the chat and hang out with you guys. Keith, this is a Sarah wife special blind here. All right, first up, we got a Buffalo Trace product. Has to be. Feels like a 90 proofer or around thereabouts. BT. I'm going to say no finish. I'm going to say this is a bourbon. So I need to go age proof. What else do I need to do? Age proof. Every week. I need to write myself a note card of all the stuff that I like to guess. Age proof. Okay. Age proof. Type. Finish. Oh, grains. You know, if you can call that. Bottle. Yeah, that's fun. Bottle. Cool. So, got to be a Buffalo Trace product. Andrew says, time to kick Bruzel out. Damn it, it's Malort. Actually, I need to try that barrel-aged Malort. Toshi says, not to get too political, but Jordan Klepper is the Daily Show guy who interviews Trump supporters at rallies. He's funny. I still don't think I've seen. Maybe I would recognize his face. Sarah's usually pretty good at putting these blinds together, and I don't know if she themed tonight's blind. She didn't tell me one way or the other, so probably not. This Buffalo Trace product feels, well, is it Buffalo Trace? The other thing this could be a Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. This could be Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. For some reason, it's giving me a little bit of that vibe. All right, so we're going to move on from this. We'll come back to it in just a second, but I've got some good initial thoughts. Proof. It does feel low. I mean, the easy guess is 90. 90 or 100. 93 is the Blanton's guess. I'll go 93 just for fun. All right, let's go to glass 2 or glass B, which appears to be a much darker color. All right, we'll get the test card ready. Josh says Matt Madness training. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I'll do some more this coming week as well. Okay, so test card is up. And let me get my cursor set. Cool. So this is what's going to be in glass 2. Remember, no spoilers. If I click, we should go full screen. So you should be there now. All right, 3, 2, 1. Should be off full screen. Cool. All right. Glass 2. Okay. Dry dark fruit, sawdust, a little nutty. That kind of gasoline note I was getting on the Larceny Barrel Proof, actually. That could be a Larceny Barrel Proof. That could definitely be a Larceny Barrel Proof. If she picked that and we were doing it earlier, that would be pretty funny. But there does feel like there's maybe a little more oak on there than the Larceny Barrel Proofs we were tasting. Burzel says, it's fun to watch your guesses knowing what it is. Yeah, you know, this one is a peated scotch. I like doing blinds this way where you can show the cards ahead of time, but there is no guarantee someone's not going to spoil it in the chat, which sucks. And on StreamYard, even if a mod deletes a comment, you know, it still comes through and you still see it, which is kind of lame. But the audience is small enough, I think, that we're good on that. But I like to do it where people know what I'm tasting. I think it's a little more engaging that way. This has got, I mean, I'm really feeling 6 to 8 year, 125 proof. It also could be like a really bad batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, like a 2021 batch. I just don't think there's enough oak on it. So I'll go initial instinct here. I'll go Larceny Barrel Proof. I'll come back around one more time at the end, just a quick once over at the very end. I'll say age. We'll just split the difference. We'll go 7 years. We'll go 124 proof. Heaven Hill, obviously, weeded. Let me see if I can get any wheat. Yeah, I think that's a weeder. I think that's Larceny. All right, on to glass 3. I'm going to put this down. Test card. Okay. Same dealio. Okay, turn the head up. I think we should be full screen now. And 3, 2, 1. Should be down. Okay. Good. Glass 3. Also a good color on this one. Ooh, this is fruity. This is like Barton Brown Foreman, banana fruity, little molassesy. This is Jack Daniels or Old Forester to me. Oh, Bruzel, nice, man. So we've done this a few times on our stream. I have Jill on those, so she grabs a bottle, pours it while I leave the room. Yeah. That's probably an even more engaging way to do it. Sarah just pours these and then goes and hangs out with friends while I'm live streaming. So, all right, glass 3. Color would make sense as a Brown Forman product, right? A little extra dark. Okay. It's sour on the nose. Ooh, that's tough. Feels like 1910. It feels like it's got a little extra oak going on. I like it a lot. It feels like a 1910. Now, what this could be, I'm pretty sold that this is Old Forester. This could be one of the 117 bottlings up here. If it is, I have to guess that it's either 1910 extra old or 1910 extra extra old. To make the distinction right now between which one it would be, that would be hard. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm gonna see if, like, I have the bottle guess in my head now. I'm gonna see if the stats line up though, because I don't want to just bottle guess. Like, Old Forester 1910 is 93 proof. I don't think there's like any age statement associated with it, but I want to see if it actually feels 93 proof. Yes, it does. Now, glass 1 also, I thought it could be Blanton's. Let's see if this feels, even with a thinner flavor profile, if it could be 93 proof. Feels less. Is that a result of the profile or the proof? I don't know. Guys, 1910 might be better than 1924, but watch out for the review next week. If that is 1910. I'm going to say it is. All right, last one. And then we'll do a quick once-over on the first two. Maybe this last one as well, depending on how this goes. All right. Amy, about how many open bottles did she have to choose from? 500 maybe? I don't know. I don't know what we have at this point. Once upon a time I had an inventory, but she doesn't touch samples. And usually if there's stuff on the table, like I'll have this table, she'll pour it out here on the table. And I leave the room and I put headphones in so I can't hear. I leave the room and I'll go in the bedroom and I put headphones in. So if she goes downstairs to the rest of the whiskey, I have no idea. I don't know where she's at in the house. And she comes and gets me when she's done. But yeah, I don't know. She just doesn't touch samples, and she usually doesn't touch what I'm going to do on a live stream. And that's like the only stipulation. Okay. All right. We'll get to the chat in just a second. So I got to show you guys glass 4. Sorry. Having a little moment here. So here's the test card. And here's the final one. We only have 4 in this flight. Should be full screen. This feels uneven. Let me see. That feels more even. All right. 3, 2, 1. We should be good. Okay, glass 4. All right. This is very tame. So this is not jumping out of the glass at all, but the only thing I smell is coffee. Bruzel says, what do you think about all the 1924 bouncing to secondary out of North? I mean, you know, people are capitalizing on it, and look, man, I'm a sucker, so they got me. But, you know, I want to get that review out. But I think the price is going to... I don't know what the release is like, and I don't know if it's going to be a seasonal release or if it's going to be a shelfer, like ideally in their heads. I'm not sure what the plan is for 1924, but I have to imagine secondary is going to drop to 200 or something, you know? I hope, at least. Yeah, glass 4 smells like cat litter. Cat litter and coffee. I don't know what the hell. I have no idea what this is. It's spicy. It is like, this could be a rye or a high rye. It's not giving me full out rye whiskey impressions, but it is spicy and it's just weird. It's starting to come out of the glass a little bit more. Yeah, Lynn, I'm telling you, man, cat litter. I don't know why I'm getting that on here. It's what is that note? I'm not a big fan of this on the nose. Bruzel says, seeing them for 350 secondary. We're on the press list. Samples inbound next week. Nice, man. I feel like Old Forester. I'm trying to think of other channels. I don't think they must have a really small press list, or maybe it's just channel size like you've got, and like written stuff like blogs and things, because I feel like the Junkies and Jason and Matt, like I don't know if anybody's on the Old Forester list. I don't know. I have absolutely no clue what this bottle could be, which is good, and it's going to force me to guess stats, and I like that. It's getting better as I sip it, but most things do. Bruzel says, yeah, you have a blog with 300 viewers and you are press. 100,000 YouTube subs, not press. It's hilarious. Clay, yeah, I saw Jason did a 1924 review today. I'm not watching it till I do mine. Oh, they sent Jason a birthday bourbon. Wow. Okay, so maybe he is on the list. You know what? You know what? I remember. I thought maybe it was his Jackie Zykin connection from back then. Maybe that's carried over, or maybe he had a different end before that. I don't know. No idea. This is a good proof point on glass 4. I'm starting to enjoy it more as I sip it. The nose was just so strange at the beginning. Let me revisit 2. I'm going to say glass 4. Proof is like 127, maybe. I'm probably high. I'll go. I mean, we're creeping towards 130 in my mind. I'm gonna go 128 proof. Age, this has a little bit of age to it, a little bit of oak presence on glass 4. Sorry I'm taking so long on this one. Let me clear my palate. Hey guys, please hit that like button if you have not already, by the way. Still got 122 hanging out, which is great. We're about an hour 15 in, so we're right on schedule with what I wanted to do for tonight's stream. Change the music just a little bit. By the way, I don't know how many of you in the chat remember this. I think it was May of 2021. I did a Drums and Drams virtual concert, kind of I mean, that was what, 14 months after COVID really was hitting, but things were still rough as a musician. Symphony was kind of back to work at that point, but my solo touring and all that stuff was not. It wasn't even really a possibility at that time, I don't think. And I did a virtual concert here on the channel. I think what I'm going to start doing, I can't guarantee that it's going to be monthly, but I think I'm going to start posting a couple performance videos, and I'm just going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair it with a whiskey review up front. So I think the first one is going to be a piece that I actually did on the virtual concert, same recording and everything, but most people haven't seen it. So what I'll do, it's a vibraphone solo. It's like a bluesy vibraphone thing. So it's going to be real kind of like bluesy, jazzy. Probably do like a Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye review because of the connection from Jack Daniel's to Sinatra and, jazz/blues. I feel like there's a strong enough connection there. So maybe I'll do like a barrel proof rye Jack review for like 5-6 minutes, and then like a 5 or 6 minute performance. And it'll be a hard cut from me in this room to me in my studio in the basement for the things. But what I'm thinking, this is just me spitballing now, is that maybe like I'll do 1 month will be like kind of classical percussion or blues or, you know, something like what I do. And then the next month, I've got a buddy that runs a studio here in Columbus. I could go shoot like 3 or 4 drum covers, and like the Patreon could vote on which drum cover you want me to play. That then I have to pair a whiskey to and do a review ahead of time, like in the first part of the video. And maybe I could drop like, you know, nerdier music piece that I do to give you guys an idea of what I do for a living. Next month, drum cover, you know, me playing Metallica or whatever would be voted on, or maybe something I pick. And then next month, go back to playing like electronic percussion. Next month, drum cover. So I have this in my head right now. The first one of these might be either next week or the week after. So, and I know some people are probably not going to be into it, and you can skip the videos, but the idea would be that I would let everyone know that that's going to happen on that week's episode of the Weekly Dram on Monday, so you know to expect it. Devin says, not a lot of slots for triangle players. I do play a little bit of triangle from day to day. Andrew Pham says, no thanks, just whiskey. Yeah, and I feel like, you know, probably not going to be for everybody. No big deal. Yeah, Clay, I don't have a set of quads, man. I don't own any quads, unfortunately. Keith, do you play anything other than percussion? I used to play sax. I can make my way around a saxophone like at a 7th grade level, but that's it. So no, it's pretty much just percussion. All right. Anyways, back to 4. 4, I think, might be MGP. I'm going to call this 8 years old. And I don't have a guess otherwise. I think it's a bourbon. I don't think it's finished. Ethan says Neil Peart. Well, not quite at that level, but definitely someone I watched growing up. Which, by the way, I found out it's pronounced Peart, not Pert. I always said Neil Peart growing up, but I guess it's Neil Peart. Bradley, most of the things I do are around a 7th. Dude, I feel this so deeply in my soul. Oh my gosh. Keith, oh man, I know exactly what I'm wearing now. Look, Glass One, whatever this Buffalo Trace product is, it's mash bill too. I might stick with Blanton's on this. It's either Blanton's or Elmer T. Lee. Oh, it could be Hancock's, which would be I haven't tasted my bottle of Hancock's for like a year and a half. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Hancock's. The proof is just feels lower. All right, I'm locked in on my guesses. Let's do this reveal. What's my favorite to least favorite in here? If I had to make an order. I don't like Glass 2. All right, I think I've got my order. This is a weird order because I started off saying Glass 4 was like kitty litter and whatever the hell else note I said. Glass 4 is my favorite. I like glass 1 a lot, even though I know it's a low-proof Buffalo Tracer. Mash Bill 2, I think. And putting that over what I presume is 1910 would be a crazy choice, but I'm going to do it. And then glass 2 in last place. So last place, I guess, Larceny Barrel Proof, 124 proof, 7 years, Heaven Hill Weeded. Damn it. Oh, not good. This makes a lot of sense now, and that sucks. So this is Matt Porter's, one of Matt's. Oh, Sarah just got home. I'll ask her. Hey, Sarah, which Matt Knob Creek pick was it? There's 2. They're right next to each other, though. Okay. All right, she's going to come in here and figure out which one it was. Also, she's looking so good tonight. I mean, she looks good every day, but if she comes on screen, you guys are going to be like, damn. Anyways, so next up, glass 3, I said 1910. Come on, dude. Okay. Jack 10. This makes sense. I'll take this. If 1910... Okay. Well, I just put something real stupid over Jack 10 then. I said 93 proof. It's 97. 10 years old. I didn't make an age guess because I thought it was 1910. Hello. You can come through. I told him that you look good tonight, though, so I said, you know. I said, damn. We got the wife and the kitty coming in here. All right. So go tell me which one of those it is. Okay, which one? Turn on the back. Everlasting knob stopper? Yes. Okay, well, that sucks. It smells nuttier on the nose than I remember. That's okay. But you said Matt Porter pick, not ADHD whiskey pick, so that makes sense. The other one says ADHD on the front. Yeah, no, it's definitely different. Okay. All right. So glass 4. Yeah, you guys saw Lucy's humongous, our cat. Yeah. Glass A I had in 3rd place. Hey! Okay, I'll take that. Elmer T. Lee, 90 proof. Okay. So I said it was either Hancock's Elmer T. or... I knew it was mash, but what'd you say? Sorry.
I asked if you guessed that one.
I almost. Close. Pretty close. I said Hancock's. I said it was Mash Bill 2 Buffalo Trace between 90 and 93 proof. And then Hancock's 88.9, so... That's okay. And it's because I thought Jack was Old Forester 1910, and the proof would have been the same if it was Blanton's. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's my, Okay, glass 4 was my favorite. What is glass 4? 8-year, 128 proof bourbon from MGP. No! Four Roses, which is easily confused with MGP. Same with, sometimes Barton can be confused with MGP. No, sorry, not Barton. Wild Turkey can be confused with MGP sometimes. So a 9-year OBSO single barrel. I forgot I even had this. And I was definitely not feeling Four Roses on the nose. Now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting that little herbal thing. Wow. So, yes, Bruzel said it. Blinds make fools of us all. Proof-wise on that, I said 128. I way overshot. What is that? She really dug deep for that one. 118.4. I said 128, so I was off by 10. The other one's fairly close. Larceny Barrel Proof, I guess. I said 124. It was 120. Knob Creek. The Buffalo Trace Elmer T. I said 93 on the guess. Then I changed to Hancock's at the last minute. I was shooting around the 90. And yeah, like I was quickly not explaining well to Sarah, I felt like because C was Old Forester 1910, I made a mistake and I bottle guessed and I shouldn't have. But at 93 proof, I felt like that proof was a good bit hotter than Glass A. And I thought like maybe it's 93 and then the Blantons would have been 93. I shouldn't have done that because that was 97 and clearly hotter than Glass A. And I just got squirrely in my head about all that. it didn't feel like only a 3-point proof difference. So yeah, there's another lesson to be learned tonight. Don't guess bottles, guess stats. The Four Roses is a total shocker. Weird nose, but great palate. Keith, MGP and Buffalo Trace are so close on the nose. Keith, for me, that's one that actually, a lot of people say that. I don't mix those up unless you get really high age. I mean, like Eagle Rare 17 versus like a low proof 15-year MGP or something like that. My trick for that is the Buffalo Trace honey note always it's always present. It doesn't matter what the pour is, unless it's maybe Eagle Rare 10. You lose a little bit more of that, but I still think you get enough of the grape note. Whereas MGP to me is more floral. So I go floral MGP, and it's got this earthiness to it. And then if there's any high rye content, you might start getting that dill note in varying levels throughout. But to me, the Buffalo Trace is the honey. It defines it. Clay says the B mash bill is more MGP than E. Then again, my palate's more McDonald's and fine dining. No, I think you're right, Clay. That high rye content is there. Amy, there was a blind where Cam Bottle called all of them. Yeah, Amy, I'm so out of practice with my blinds. I need to do some more of them, especially with this thing coming up next week. So I'm going to do a little bit of training here on my own time. And I've got a video to film of a blind that my friend Frank sent me. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. And I didn't feel good about the MGP guess on the Four Roses, by the way. That was just the only thing I could think of. I don't drink Four Roses anymore, ever. I don't know why. I just don't do it. And so it makes a lot of sense. I need to try it. Santiago TC13. I said it wrong earlier. I said OTC. Sorry. $20 super chat. Thank you, man. Keep the grind up. You're producing some unique content outside the norm. I work nights, so I miss most lives. Forced to watch replays, but still enjoy. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you supporting. $20 super chat is amazing. And saying that, your kind words. Thank you, man. Thanks for being here and for supporting the channel. Okay. Anything left to do? Does anybody have any requests? Freebird? Stairway to Heaven? Andrew says, I'm going to start associating notes with household pet things. Next time I drink a scotch, I'm going to call out a saltwater fish tank. What's up, Jacob? Four Roses is not my top pick either, but the LE are really good. So the reason I don't drink Four Roses is because I have an OBSK pick that I love so much, and I don't think I'll probably ever get another one. And it's not even like a good pick, in the sense that it's like a highly sought after expensive one. I just think they're long gone now. So I'm nursing my OBSK, and then I have like this much left of an OESQ, and I have one backup. It's a tier 6 from the TS run, which is, people love this run. And I have one more in my basement, and I don't want to crack it. So I don't want to kill this bottle off yet. So I just never drink Four Roses now. And I don't have an LE bottle anymore. My 2021 is dead and gone. I wanted to get a 23 pretty badly. I've heard so many good things about it, but I just don't have the funds for that. So, Keith, I never really did the You Need 5 thing. No, I didn't. Well, I think we're going to wrap up now, guys. 10:30, hour and a half live. Nice and easy. No giveaway tonight. There will be a giveaway next Thursday. I think I'm going to do it. I think we're going to give away the old Stubborn. Let me find my glass of that. I think it might be, well, I don't know which one it is. Guess I have to pour some more. I think I'll give one of these away next week. I think it's going to be a good giveaway. And even if we don't even get enough entries to cover the bottle cost, I think at the end of the day, it is sharing good whiskey with people. I do like this whiskey, so we're going to do it. Ben, I'm not going to taste the 1924 tonight. That's my only kind of stipulation on this live because I want to save it for the review next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to figure out what day it's going to be. Jacob, I've not tried any of those 16 to 20 year single barrels that people have picked up over the last year or two. A 1 ounce sample sitting in the cabinet. Nice. Yeah, I was so curious about those, but never willing to spend the secondary money on the off chance that it wasn't that great. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. So last pour is gonna be of this Old Stubborn. Thank you for being here. Hit that like on your way out. Check out the top 5 videos if you haven't already. Let me know your opinions, good, bad, ugly, whatever the case may be. And I'm checking it right now. Not a lot of terrible things yet. So just a few. Wow, huge impression click-through rate on this last video, that's cool. But yeah, I do feel like I dropped the ball a little bit in this last video that I posted tonight. You know, calling out all these picks. Next year in my top 5. Next year for the top 5 whiskeys or whatever list I do, top 10. I'm going to do it in a more structured way. I'm going to set a few ground rules for myself. Starting right now, I'm going to brainstorm these throughout the year. And I'm going to find a better system for it. I'm not going to do it to the degree that Fred is doing his, but I would like to have a more organized format and separate out single barrels in some way. But I don't want single barrels like the Michter's 10 stuff. I got to figure out a way to, like, how does that work? Because it's a big release, but a lot of different single barrels. Same with the Rebecca Creek, but like the Junkies pick that I called out today as my number 1. Like, what do you, like, that's too small. That's probably too small. And it should have its own list of my favorite barrel picks. That's what I would do next time better, I think. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys. Cheers. I let this Old Stubborn sit. Todd, what's up, man? He opened it. Todd opened his Old Stubborn. That's my last sip here. I let it sit for 22 minutes. Love it. I am so glad to hear that. I am glad to hear that, man. Cheers, guys. Sean Franklin, I am into high-aged beam. Absolutely. I'll see you guys next week on a live stream, and I'll see you in several videos before then, including tomorrow, Macallan 12-year Sherry Oak. If you like Scotch, if you don't like Scotch, still check the video out. Support the channel. And the best way to support, of course, jump in Patreon. Only 2 tiers, $5 or $10 per month. And the last 2 weeks, we've been building such a great thing over there. I'm so excited about it. So come hang out. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you soon.